The decision President Harry Truman made to support Israeli statehood can be traced back to the building right behind me at 12th and Baltimore in downtown Kansas City. This is the Hotel Phillips. Inside that building in 1919 was a space where future President Harry Truman and his business partner, Eddie Jacobson, a Jewish citizen of Kansas City, went into business and opened the TRUMAN and JACOBSON haberdashery. The store was in business from 1919 until it failed in 1921. And what's so significant about this place is that Jacobson and Truman became really close there. And even though their business failed, the men became very close, and they had a pre-existing relationship because Truman was Jacobson's superior officer in the war, and they served together. So these guys were really close. They went into business together. Truman was Christian, Jacobson was Jewish, and they forged this interfaith friendship and business partnership. Now, years later, when Truman was in the White House, with his unlikely presidency, having assumed office following Franklin Delano Roosevelt's death toward the end of World War II, when Truman assumed office, he had so many geopolitical challenges on his plate, and one of them was how to vote in the United Nations on the question of Israeli statehood in 1948. Truman was on the fence about Israeli statehood and whether or not to grant Israel a state through UN approval through that process of the United Nations. In fact, many in his administration were against it, fearing the outbreak of war and upsetting Arab countries and American interests there, including oil. Truman needed to listen to his heart, and he took it under advisement. And one of the last people who came to see him before he made his decision about Israel at the UN was Eddie Jacobson, who, as a Jewish man, pleaded with his old friend and former business partner to give the Jewish people a state, the first state they had since the kingdoms of Judea and Israel, what is now the country of Israel. And Jacobson urged the president to do this for the Jewish people so that they could see an end to their persecution and thousands of years of living in the diaspora and suffering anti-Semitism. And of course, in the wake of the Holocaust, these feelings were particularly acute. And Jacobson made this emotional plea to Truman. And Truman later, not long after that visit, decided that Jacobson was right, and he decided that America should support an Israeli state, and that's what happened. It all started here at 12th and Baltimore, in that building. It was the TRUMAN and JACOBSON haberdashery.